Okay, we are ready to add the glass bar top. So if you have anything selected at this point, you can do Control D to deselect. As always, we go to our background layer to select with our magic wand tool. And we're going to select the bar top right there. And I just use the scroll wheel on my mouse to kind of navigate so that I have the whole bar top in my view. And of course, I'll start a new layer. I'm going to rename it glass. We're going to use the gradient tool to create a light blue to a dark blue. So if I just kind of click on my foreground color, which is right here, I want to pick a nice, kind of an icy blue. It's going to look really intense at first when we put this on, and you're going to think I'm crazy, but it will, what we're going to do is adjust the transparency, and then it's going to look great. So pick a dark blue for one of them and pick a light blue for the other. Now, if I want to get a blue that's similar to that one, I can go to swatches, and it just automatically, my mouse becomes an eyedropper. And when I go back, you'll see that now it's picked the color I just did before. So now I can pick like a light and a dark blue that are similar to each other. All right, our gradient tool is hiding underneath our paint bucket. So go to your paint bucket and right click and hit gradient tool. And we're going to, I'm going to click just outside this box and drag, clicking, I'm holding down that left mouse button. So click and drag and then let go. And you'll see that it goes from kind of the lighter blue to the darker blue. So right now it's showing my bar stools, which I didn't want it to do. So what I'm going to do is grab my glass layer with my mouse. I'm just going to click and drag it up above and move it. So you'll see that the stacking layer of the stacking order of your layers is extremely important in Photoshop. So you're going to get used to kind of moving them around. So and the way yours are stacked might be different. It all has to do with what layer you were on when you clicked a new layer. So we're going to play around later with the stacking order and get them in the correct position. But for right now, get it so that you can see your nice gradient of light blue to dark blue as a big solid rectangle. So what we're going to do next is add some reflections, and we need white for that. So I'm just going to click down here, right over here. The default for foreground background is black and white, so I could do it that way. I could also just click around, like right here, I could pick my foreground and click white right there. So there's, the cool thing about Photoshop is there's so many ways to do the same thing. So just find a way to make white your foreground color. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to use our brush tool. So it looks like a paintbrush. And what we're going to do is add some reflections. So the magic number for reflections is 3. We're going to do 3 stripes that are diagonal, and we want those stripes to be different widths from different widths. Some, big fat stripes, and then maybe a skinny stripe and one in the middle. And then also the distances between them we want to be irregular because we don't want it to look like a pattern or like stripes. So I'm just going to go ahead and just do one. If you don't like it, just hit Control Z and try another one. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Now what I can do in order to make my reflection stripe bigger is I'm just going to hit the bracket tools right next to the letter P on your keyboard. One makes them bigger and one makes it smaller. So play with those. And then that looks pretty good. And I know this looks crazy right now, but that's because it's at full opacity. Okay, now comes the cool part. Right up here, we have opacity, and this is for each of the different layers. So now that I'm on my glass layer, I can take this and I can move it down something that I think looks good. Whatever you think looks like a reasonable amount. Yeah, that looks pretty good. 61, let's go with that. Okay, so you see now we're able to actually see part of the bar stool through, which looks pretty cool. All right, let's move on to some more things. I'm going to do Control D. I'm going to back out. Let's see, I think the next thing we should do, let's finish this up. Let's go ahead and add some stainless steel to our appliances. So for that, I'm going to go online and I'm going to grab a stainless steel texture that I like. So it takes me a second here to share my screen. Here we go. Okay. Stainless steel, seamless texture. Let's see what we've got. Oh, so many options, right? Let's go to images. Let's find one we like. Let's see. There's one that we can save as a JPEG. Desktop, I have textures. Let's save that one. All right, I'm going to go back to Photoshop and make sure that it's working. Oh, first, get a nice wood seamless texture for my cabinets. Let's try this one. Save image as. So I have a little folder where I'm saving all of my textures that I'm working with. All right, so we're back to Photoshop now. Let's get those appliances to look like stainless steel. So the first thing I'm going to do is open up stainless texture. It's not the right kind of document. This happens all the time. Sometimes you find things online and it's just not, you try to save it as a JPEG and it just won't let you. Let's try and open up our wood one and see if that one works. Like this one. All right, let's save it as a texture. So we go to, I'm sorry, save it as a pattern. So we go to define pattern, just like we've done, I don't know, a bunch of times already with this project. Back to our kitchen. All right, I'm gonna go back to background and I'm gonna use my magic wand and I'm gonna click on that cabinet. Hold down Shift. One more down here. Back up so I can see what I'm doing. Again, the magnifying glass, you just hold down the Alt key and instead of zooming in, you zoom out. Okay, let's start a new layer. Cabinets. And I'm going to go to my paint bucket, which is now hiding underneath my gradient tool. No problem, just bring back the paint bucket, pattern, and I'm going to click on the last one. Here we go. Yeah, that looks good to me. I'm going to stop this recording for a second so I can grab a stainless steel texture that's going to work for us.